never fall in love with you. Such a beautiful song, isn't it? We love it. I mean, because I can't help falling in love with you. And today's topic is, after love, what's next? What happens after love? How do we keep a strong relationship going? Or how do we build a strong relationship? And this is what we are talking about. Let's get interactive. Sending your messages to us and let us know. Probably you have, something that you do at home that it's kept your relationship going. And maybe somebody out there needs to hear about it, and it will help the person's relationship build as well. So send in your messages to us, but our guests are seated, and so I'll welcome our guests who are here to help us with this particular conversation. Now, last week we're trending a little bit, because Nana actually did say something, after love making nothing else to build it. You're like, hey, hold on, are you sure? Are you sure? There's nothing else. Hello, good morning, Nana.
Good morning, Rosellyn.
Nana Acheampong is
always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to have you.
Yes, you're looking very sweet. Are you sure your husband is not packed outside waiting to pick you up?
Don't worry, yesterday was good.
You're looking good this
thank
morning.
Thank you, my love. It's telling after.
The morning after.
Anyway, so we also have Pastor Michael Gabriel McCann, and he is with Emmanuel International Christian Centre. Yeah. Good morning, Pastor McCann.
Good morning to
How
you,
are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. And
Great.
Good morning to all your lovely viewers.
Thank you
Great
so
to be
much.
Here.
Yes. So what to hear from you, like I said earlier, what are you doing to keep your relationship going? So, we talk about love. But after love, what is that thing that you do to strengthen your relationship? So let me start this probably with you, Pastor McCann. Maybe there's something that, because we see, especially white people, you do a lot of public display of affection.
Yes.
Although we hear a high rate of, divorce,
yes.
It's just because you people don't like nonsense. We understand. But, we still feel that, you might understand love a little bit more. We, the Africans, we do a lot of sacrifice, So what are some of the things that one can do to solidify or strengthen their relationship?
Well, I've been married to my wife, Joella Dankwa Kofi, who's a Ghanaian. God bless her. For 16 years now. And we have 6 boys by the grace of God. So we have a very busy house. We have a very energetic, lively house, full of energy. And I would say that to keep the love burning and to keep the house and the home happy, there has to be that commitment for hard work. Because love is not a mistake, it's not an accident, it's intentional, it's purposeful, and love is action. At the end of a long day, you've worked hard in the office, you still have to come home with a mindset of, I want to work hard on my relationship and my partner. So the beginning of marriage is very sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, super sweet.
The emotions are flowing. The emotions are flowing. Your heart is beating. The joy in the room. You think about the person throughout the day. You dream about the person. You wake up kissing the person. When I first got married to my wife, as soon as I got home, we made love.
Oh.
That's what we did. As soon as you get home from work, you make love. Now you're coming home. You've got 6 kids in the house. Yeah. It's hard work, but you still have to put in extra effort to make you and your partner time, special time. Yeah. So we still make love, but we've changed the time.
Okay.
And
now it's not every day?
Oh, it can be every day or every other day. But there still has to be the extra effort that we will have time together. I need to listen to my wife's emotional needs. Men are very good at listening to emotional needs at the beginning of marriage.
Okay.
But then when they get into marriage, they at times go into autopilot or auto drive. Like everything just becomes, it's like the same every day. But that's not how you started your relationship. There was surprise, there was suspense, there was activities you planned, you were spontaneous.
Yeah.
But then suddenly that's past. And then now everything is like laying blocks for a house.
Yep.
It's become very mundane. That's not how marriage started. So you have to keep it spicy, you have to keep it intentional to get the love flowing. And it's hard work.
It's hard work. I like the word intentional. So I saw something on social media, I think two days ago. Somebody said there's a 2-2-2 rule. So I think the first two is they have to make sure that they go on a date twice a month, and then they have to travel twice in a year. And then I think the third is something twice. So it's like there is actually a rule that if you stick to it, it can solidify the relationship.
Yeah.
Do you know about these rules, Nana?
Yes. As a couple, you can't define yourself by other people's rule.
Okay.
Every couple is different because we are different people in this world.
Okay.
So what might work for me will not work for you, and what might work for you will not work for me. One thing I also want to add to some of the essential things that we have to look at will be starting from our mind. We have to see ourselves as one. That is the first thing. You know, when we get married, we are like, oh, like we're a team, we are building this together. But after a while, that sense gets to fizzle off because you are so much into your respective jobs, and you are so much into the kids, and you are so much into what is happening outside. How can I bring money home and other issues? So that thought of we are one. Whatever we are doing, it is us against the world. It is us against whoever. It is us against the issue. Whatever is coming in, it is for us. If we start talking like that, that's another sense that we need to build as we are spicing up our marriage, as we want to keep our marriage. Because apart from love, if we don't have that sense of we are together, we are in this together, we are one, it will just go off. So every rule that you are trying to fix, or every rule that you are trying to put together, you need to put it together as the two of you.
But how do you do that if you're married to somebody who is selfish? Because there are people who are selfish. So you might be thinking, this is us. But that person will be thinking, no, this is mine. And I know somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know, that I even had to, at a point in time, sit down with him and tell him that, listen, know that you are married.
Yeah.
Stop saying that this is my water in the fridge.
Yes.
This is my bread, so my wife should not touch it. This is my, you know, and it was something that was there. So how do you do that with somebody who's like...
So that's why we would always encourage couples to go for couples counseling. And that's what normally helps us tune into the sense of it is us, it's about us. Right.
It
is us against the world. Because you don't grow up with that. You grow up in a home where they say, this is for me, this is your bag, this is your water, this is your dress.
Don't share.
Don't share. When you go to school, don't give your food to anybody, don't let anybody give your... So if you grow up with that mentality, apart from that, there are people who will grow up with that sense of it is me against the world. So I need to force and work and be good, especially if they have nobody to depend on. So they grow up with that sense of singleness. So they push to a point where after they get married, they still feel that they're alone, even though I have somebody with me. So it's very important that you need to counsel yourself. After a while, you need to tell yourself that it is us. It is us. Now, I'm not alone. So that's why the Bible says that a man and a woman will leave their parents, come together, and cleave as one. So at the end of the day, if you have that sense, all that you have to do is just acknowledge. Sometimes you forget. I remember when I got married. When I got married, what happened? Yes, I think we were going somewhere, and we're in church or going. And then all of a sudden, the church caught fire.
Oh, wow.
Yes, it was very dramatic. The church caught fire. And when the church caught fire, because we were newly married, we forgot that we were together in there. My husband passed one place. I also passed another place. So he was running away when he suddenly realized that, no, I'm with somebody. So then he came back, and I was not getting down from the church. He was like, hey, where's my wife? Hey, Nana, where are you? You know, and somebody normally would be very angry. But I understood it that we were individuals, and now we will get to a time where we now come together as one. Right. And now our senses become one. So it's normal. So that sense has to be there. That sense has to be there.
I was going to add that, especially with men, if you show me your friends, I can show you how your marriage will end.
Oh, really?
Yes, because the type of friendships you keep will determine the knowledge and the conversations you have. And if you have friends that don't have good marriages, are not happy in their marriages, the advice they're going to give you will, in fact, contaminate your own relationship. And a lot of times, guys like to be very guy-y, very close and paddy and tight with their friends. And if you are not careful, and those boys become tighter than how you are with your wife, then you should have married them and left your wife. No, it's very truthful. So when I got married, I was the first out of all my friends to get married. I realized that a separation came. Because the sorts of conversations they have, where they are going, the people that they are with, what they like, it's now become different to what I do. I'll never forget, there was a time when I was younger, my father used to go to a certain drinking spot with his friends and used to take me with him. It was a nice place. And they were drinking alcohol. They do it every Sunday. We weren't going to church. They'll drink, have fun. One day my mother turned up there at that drinking spot. And his friends were not married. They were quite ruffian at that time. She told him, I'm here to collect you and my son, and you are never coming back here again. And do you know, he never went back there again.
Wow.
So it was a wrong lifestyle choice that he had made, and it's something that he had been doing. But then in the courtship, it would have gone down because now he's so taken by her beauty and that he wants to settle down and have kids. But then he's got these wrong friends that he's walking with. So my mother had to step in. She did it in a dramatic way, but I never forget that day. I was only about 8 or 9, but that's the power of a woman. A woman has the power to turn a man's life around. A woman has the power to influence a man. So at the beginning of your relationship, the woman must influence the man as positively as she can, as much as she can from the beginning. Because every man, we need work on us. You know, every man, you know, women are very intelligent.
But you know, probably somebody at home will be saying that you're speaking like this because of your race. But when you come to Africa, some men with their ego, you dare not try to tell them what to do.
Yes, so then it will come to another element that we have to consider, good communication. As African women, we are trained to be very respectful when we are talking to our husbands. Of course, sometimes the friendship is built to a point where you are like, okay, I can just talk to him like paddies. And other times too, you need to calm down. I remember when I was growing up, what my grandmother told me is that, when I got married, my grandmother told me that whenever your husband offends you, you don't talk at that point. You relax. When he's sleeping or very early at dawn, when everything is calm, you call him and you say, honey, this thing you did, I didn't like it. So at that point, a friend recently told me that he was having an argument concerning something about his wife. And then they decided that, so they weren't talking about that particular issue, but their marriage was okay. Then do you know what do you know what the woman did? No. Right after lovemaking, when everything was calm and stuff, and she asked the husband again, the husband couldn't say no to her.
So that's what he works there.
And that's the power of a woman.
It works?
Women are powerful.
It works?
Yes, it works.
Oh, wow.
Men, we are like babies.
So after that, I can ask for anything.
Good communication.
And after that, I ask.
Yes, you ask. So good communication is very important. Know your man. Know your wife. Know who you are staying with and learn how to communicate effectively.
And be reasonable. If you're overweight and you need to lose weight, you're not going to lose it in a day. Don't expect the world from your partner if you realize he has a weakness or she has a weakness. Be willing to work at it, pray at it, use different methods, come at different angles. You need patience. Love is hard work.
It is serious.
It's a lot of energy.
Does
it's a
it
lot
ever
of thinking.
end? Does that hard work ever? It never ends.
No. I'm sure even in heaven you correct the ropes.
But what if you're getting tired of, putting in the hard work?
And that's why you have to continually work on yourself. You know, I remember one time in our marriage, me and my wife were going through a rough part, and she wanted me to say sorry, and I wasn't sorry. And at times I'd say something to her like, well, if you want me to say sorry, I'll say sorry.
Right.
You know, that would be my response. I mean, you said I should say sorry. I've said it, but I'm not sorry. And I realized, I look at myself in the mirror and I say, like, that's so immature. You know, even if you are wrong or you're right, there's a way to talk to your spouse. So you have to keep checking on yourself. You have to keep building yourself. And you must keep your relationship with God strong. You must keep it number one, because God is the giver of love. You've now got to love someone that at times is unlovable. At times it's not nice. At times it's rude. I've been rude to my wife. My wife's been rude to me. I've said things I should have never have said. You know, but you have to come into that place of forgiveness. You have to be able to wipe the slate.
That's where the difficulty is with some couples, the forgiveness. Because to err is human, but to forgive, the word divine is very difficult. Some people never forget. They never forgive and forget. And they hold on till thy kingdom come. So how can one forgive their partners?
You see, that's forgive and forget. That forget, that's
the most difficult one. The forgive part you can do.
Forget.
You won't forget.
You have the memory,
Right.
But very, I've realized that I don't even remember some of the fights we used to have like 10 years or 5 years ago or even last month.
Yeah.
You know, because if you are always looking forward, you are always looking ahead of you, you grow a capacity to forgive. You know, it's just a matter of time. You will forget. You just have to let go. Because at the end of the day, one thing that keeps me is the fact that I will also sin. Or I will also do something wrong. So if he does something wrong, I should be ready to also let go because I'm not perfect. I would always also say something I shouldn't say or do something I shouldn't say or spend some money I shouldn't spend. So when he goes out and he spends his money, he goes to spend money, I easily forgive. Because I know that one day I will do the same thing, one way or the other, because I'm not perfect. So that idea of we are all humans in this together and we are in this together, that idea saves a lot in marriage. You know some people who think they are perfect. They think they pray more than their spouse. They think that they are more holy. Me, I can't
Holier
cheat.
than thou.
Me, I can't cheat. You know, I dress well. I've gone to the best schools. I'm better than you. That idea should leave marriage because we need to learn how to be vulnerable to each other.
Let me ask this, Pastor. If you're struggling to forgive your spouse, sometimes it's a struggle. Some of the things are there. You never expect it to happen and it happens. What do you do?
I think you have to always remember that you were an individual before you got married. And when you're an individual, sometimes our parents did things, sometimes our family members did things, sometimes our siblings did things, but we found a way to work it out. We cried it in worship. We lifted it to the foot of the cross that the blood of Jesus should set us free. We found ways to let our heart release the old so that we can embrace the new. It's no different when it comes to your spouse, your husband or your wife. They've hurt you in a very bad way. And sometimes when it's your spouse, it hurts more than anyone else in the world. Because you've committed so much to the person. But the person is a human being and they're going to slip and they're going to make mistakes. You're also going to do the same. That's where you've got to make sure your relationship with God is strong. Because the person is not God. The person has faults and flaws, and the person is imperfect. They're going to do things that will irritate you, even after they've done something that has hurt you. They'll continue to irritate you.
But can we say same for cheating? Because it looks like that's the most difficult thing to forgive in relationships or marriages.
Yes, many people have gone through the pain of someone having an affair in a relationship. And there are studies out there that say that, and these are not godly people, that after the affair, their relationship became stronger when it has been confessed.
Oh, really?
Yes, when it's been confessed, when it's put into the light, and the person is in a repentive place, that they can see they've messed up, they can see they've made a mistake, they don't want to be with a person, they have a weakness, they have an insecurity, there's some excessive lust in them that they let take over them and they've fallen into a trap. Your relationship can end up in a better place after an affair. It is possible. It happens for people that are not in the kingdom of God. They are just secular people. They've been able to work it out and put their differences aside. You know, everyone has a history. Some men have had very promiscuous lives, some women too. So it can be a weakness in them. If they are not fully healed, they can slip. It's something that happens in marriage. Maybe it's not your weakness, someone's money weakness, someone is overworking, some is not taking the things of God seriously. Some people, wrong for everyone and their weaknesses. When someone's weaknesses start appearing, it's now, we're going to have to work this out. We're going to have to work as a team. Can we put the past behind us and make a beautiful future? if you can show your husband or your wife that what happened, it's your mistake, you man up, you take it, but you want to move forward into a better place, it won't be easy. But life is not easy. But you can get your marriage to a beautiful place again. It is possible.
Yes, it is possible. But when it is possible. But when it becomes a character, the key is the person really, truly the person really repented and has stopped. I mean, he won't go back. He
you
or
have
she
to go
won't
for
go
marriage
back.
counseling as well.
And
That have to be a lot of the
there should be
counseling.
marriage counseling. That's what I'm saying. And marriage counseling in the sense that now you have to be accountable to your partner.
Right.
Especially if you start developing certain feelings for somebody.
Yeah.
For me, okay, so when we started going out, when I start developing, if I have a crush on somebody, I mean, now I don't have crushes. I don't know why.
It's all for your husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but before I used to have crushes, I'll tell him, at that time it was my boy, I say, hey, Charlie, I think I have a crush on this, my classmate. And he would tease me and stuff like that. I think we need to be accountable. We need to accept it, you know, and it starts from there. If I come home and I tell, and I think the other partner too should be accommodating to the fact that it can happen. It can happen. So if you start developing feelings for somebody who is not your wife, there are some rules and regulations that you have to put in. Like there are things that you have to do to prevent that cheating.
Right.
Yeah.
But normally we just go and we fall into it because we are enjoying the feelings and we're enjoying that lust and we're enjoying. But we need to be accountable to our partner. So it all has to. It's possible. It is possible, Rosellyn. It is possible for marriage to become strong again. But we would need to put in some measures. Because I know a couple who have come out so many times from cheating, the other partner cheating, but yet the marriage is still strong.
Really?
Yes, because...
But when a woman cheats, it's never still strong.
Yes.
It's the other way around, isn't it?
Let's ask why. The men can't accept a
They can't
cheating
accept
wife.
it, but the woman
You know, men, we are sex-driven.
Okay.
We're very... if I've got malaria, okay, I can still have sex.
Okay.
If I'm not in hospital. Why? Because for a man, sex is like medicine.
Okay.
Sex is a type of therapy. But women are very emotional creatures, and they love a lot of communication. As a man, my communication to you is sex. That shows that I really love you.
Okay.
You mean the world to me. If I keep having sex with my wife, I'm proving to her I love her. You know. So, and with men, we can have sex easy and also throw you away.
No
Yes.
emotions.
Not in marriage. I'm saying outside of marriage.
No emotions.
Yeah, emotionless.
Yes.
Yes, no emotion to it. We can have sex and just move on. But with a woman, the man will still be in your mind.
Yeah.
His smell will be in your mind.
Yeah.
You will be seeing the place. You will be having so many beautiful memories of it, and it builds up. And when men learn to sleep around before marriage, they know the words to catch you with. You know, they are practiced in it. But the only goal for them is sex. So sometimes the next day, the man will not communicate with you again because he's got what he wanted to get. I'm not saying that it's right for men to sleep around and it's wrong for women to do it. But it's something that men, we need a lot of sex. So when you get into marriage, you realize there's something called dutiful sex. If ask my wife doesn't want to have sex with me maybe 2 times a day or 3 times a day. But she will do it out of duty if that's the place we're at.
Yeah.
Sunday after church, we're tired. And then suddenly I'm charged. If you see, it's natural for a man to wake up with an erection.
Yeah.
I've got 6 boys. I had to explain it to them. I said, it's normal. I tell them there's something wrong if you don't wake up with an erection.
That's true.
But you have to learn to control it. I tell my boys, you have an erection, just pinch it. It's normal bodily function, but you must learn to control it. Go and have a cold shower. Don't be paying attention. Learn to control your emotions. But it's not every child that gets, those sorts of informations given to them to know how to control their bodies. But as for men, we are very sex charged. And we are like that until death.
Yeah.
But women, you get to the place where you menopause.
Yeah.
And you realize that your sex drive goes down. And that's why I'm saying there has to be a lot of dutiful sex. A lot of affairs happen because of sexless marriage. Because the man is not meeting the emotional needs, and then the woman will say, I won't meet your sexual needs. So the man goes looking elsewhere.
For Wow. Now let's talk about communication. What are we to say and what are we not to say in the relationship to keep it strong?
Respect, honesty. So communication basically has to do with a lot of respect. We can argue, we can fight, but we still have to be respectful. Like in a normal boxing, you don't have to beat below the belt. So, for instance, you know that maybe your husband has a certain weakness, and because of that, when we are fighting, I would always refer to it, or I will always say it just to, kill his ego and stuff like that. So, respect. You need to respect, and you need to be honest. Honesty is the best policy.
And transparency?
And transparency.
You have to be transparent all through.
Yes, all through, but you need wisdom to be transparent.
I was waiting for that one.
Yes, you need, because it's not all the time. Maybe the person is not matured enough to accept
Or it's
certain
not
things.
everybody that, right?
Yes.
Depending on the person's maturity level.
Yes. I remember somebody who didn't know the body count of the wife. They got married and later he heard the body count and was like, hey, you did all that?
It can be shocking.
It can be very shocking.
So when it's shocking like that, what happens? Well, you lose your sex drive for the person?
Yeah.
You do?
Because especially if they've built this idea of I have a perfect wife.
Okay.
My wife doesn't know anything. I taught him a lot. I taught her a lot of things.
Okay.
When it comes to intimacy. So then suddenly I hear that. So does it mean she was pretending, or what? What does that mean?
Because it can happen.
Yeah,
Yes.
So you need to be transparent, but you need to add wisdom to it as well. Yeah.
Secrets can bring separation.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's better in the beginning to let the person know a bit of where you're coming from, so that it doesn't cause you issues down the line. Because where there's a secret, there's the chance of someone coming to reveal that secret or it catching up with you. If you really want to make this person a life partner, let them know your history, where you're coming from. Let them know your present and let them know your future. These are very important things to express before marriage.
Right.
Where I'm coming from, where I currently am, and where I'm going.
But does it have to be everybody? Because there are some people, some partners who are very paranoid.
Okay.
Imagine you have a paranoid partner. You tell the partner that, oh, this is my, history.
Yeah.
That's the end.
That's the end. It's gone. We're good.
That's why you need people around you with wisdom, because if you've got a marriage counselor or a therapist or a pastor or an elder that can give you good godly guidance, they will clear the smoke. They will assure you, and they will be the one to balance the two of you. And if they feel that you're in a relationship that's going to hurt you or is going to be harmful to you, they'll let you know. Or if you need to take a break and work on each other, like work on yourselves before you come back to each other. So this is why it's so important to have people around you that understand marriage.
Now, when you spoke about taking a break, does taking a break help strengthen relationships, marriages?
Even the Bible says you can take a break to fast and seek his face, but then come back together because of intimacy. So sometimes I've gone to seek the face of God when I knew I wasn't in a good place. And my wife has done that before too. So I've had a separation from my wife quite a few times. There's been times she's had to travel as well. But on the grounds of separating, yes, we have actually separated for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week to get our heads clear.
Okay.
Because to be with someone a long time is not easy.
I know.
I mean, how long can we do this interview for?
Yeah.
If it goes on for 3 hours, we'll not get tired.
We will.
Yes. So there has to be a break. Even in work, you have a break. In school, you have a break. At times in a relationship, you need to have a bit of downtime. My wife's only break at times is in the toilet. I go, where are you? Where are you? Where? She's in her office. Where is her office?
The toilet.
The toilet. It's the place that
Nobody will
sounds so
bother you.
strange. But, and I understand. And she understands, she's taking a break. There's men everywhere in this house. It's understandable. She needs some. I mean, that's not the only break. I'm just giving an example.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take a break and you've got in mind to work on yourself, to better yourself, then your partner will understand.
Yeah.
When I take breaks, I take a spiritual break. Like I'm actually wanting to seek God's face because I'm struggling with something. I feel weak. I feel spiritually drained. Work can drain you.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to balance each other and have a strong communication skill so that they don't get offended if you need a bit of a break. But it shouldn't be too long, because if the wife says she's going to her mom's house for 3 months, the man may slip.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
You know, so you have to
so,
keep
so
work
what
on the
do you
time
think
scale.
the maximum should be?
Well, it's individual. For me, I can't be away
but
from
we
my
can
wife
still
for
separate,
too long.
and when we need the intimacy, I'll come and then I'll go. But we are
Okay.
still separated.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, separation can be dangerous depending on how you see it. Do you see it as a time to consider whether to divorce, or you see it as a time to try and work better towards it?
I've only done it
So it
about 3 or
depends.
4 times in marriage.
Okay.
It's not all the time. But when there's been moments in marriage that are very low,
Yeah.
Right.
you have dark times in marriage. You have times in marriage that you wouldn't even want to tell someone you passed through this with your wife or your husband.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying take breaks a lot.
Yeah.
But if you're going to take breaks together.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you know.
So do you need to sit together and have this conversation that I think it's time we take a break and, take a break for like 3 weeks, analyze things, and then we come back?
You can do that in your own house.
Yeah.
You can, as I said, I've only done it like 3 times in my I've been married for 16 years. There were 3, let's say, dark times in my marriage where I really had to take a break. We came back and we continued. We agreed it. Okay. I wouldn't be giving young couples or people that are struggling that be separating every month. So I'm never going to tell you that. But at times you must, seek, I keep saying you must seek God's face.
Yeah.
Go back into your word. Go back to your creator. Go back to your maker. Remember your identity. You had an identity before you married. God was with you before you got married. He's still with you. Make sure you're not losing your morals.
Right. Yeah.
Make sure you're not confusing yourself because of things that have gone on. Yeah. Clear your mind and push forward again. Take breaks together as a couple. I take breaks with my wife all the time.
That's cool.
Out of the settings of home and with the children. You need a break. It's important.
Sometimes you do.
Very
And you were
important.
making a point.
Yes. So the separation is quite important depending on the stage of the marriage. Yeah. Sometimes you just can't breathe in the marriage. So the break will be good. It will be good for the love. It will be good for them. It will be good for yourself. Because sometimes you need to find yourself. So it depends on any situation. Yeah. 13 years now, I want to break from the children. But not my husband. If I can get somewhere for like 1 week with no kids.
Why don't you do it? What's stopping you?
They can't survive without me.
Love is hard work.
That's the thing.
They can't. The kids, they can't survive without me. My husband knows.
But you see, is this not where the issue is? Where we get trained because we feel they can't survive without us. But why don't we get some loved ones who we can trust for like a week with the children, so we take self-break to help build.
For me, I've built capacity till they are old enough.
Okay, that's good then.
So for me, in my mind, if they are old enough, I've built that capacity.
Yes. Okay.
So I know that for now, of course, I'll struggle with it and stuff like that. But I've built capacity.
When you've got small children around, you don't want to leave them. You want to be around them. You want your eyes on them. I wouldn't really want to leave my children with anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you never know what may happen.
Okay.
But like Madame is telling us, Nanama, that you build capacity, you build maturity. And she's looking at the future. There's going to be a time my children have grown.
Yeah.
And the house is free.
But I still need my husband.
When the children go, your husband will still be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I need him.
yes.
Fact. It's a beautiful thing. Now, how to build trusts is another thing.
Yes.
I mean, we struggle to build a trust. But let me read some messages that have come in. This one says, hello, I have a question. Whenever there's an argument between my partner and I, he says hurtful things to me, going as far as bringing my parents' problem into our argument. I love him and he loves me, but whenever he's angry, he says things he's not supposed to say. Please help me. He doesn't even apologize for whatever he says to me. What does she do here?
She has to talk to the husband when they are not arguing.
Yeah.
So as I said, you have to know the times so that you talk to him. And then, some men don't have to say sorry, but their actions will tell you they are sorry.
Oh, open your mouth and say sorry. We like it.
For me, I like the opening mouth,
Yes.
but there are some people who
But it
not,
looks like
so
all women like it. Like,
take it.
Pastor was saying, Mrs. will say, oh, you haven't said sorry. So, okay, if he says, she says so.
That's what I'm saying. If he has certain friends around him that will tell him, just say sorry to your wife. It's important. I tell men all the time, to learn to say sorry. It's important to say sorry. If my wife wants to talk to me, it has to be when the kids are asleep. And what I do, I lay down in my bed. I make sure I'm not in an aggressive position because I'm a passionate person. I realized in the past, sometimes I can just throw words out men, our tongues are very quick.
Yeah.
And we don't really process what we are saying. And you know the funny thing, in the morning, we've forgotten what we have said.
Yes.
But the woman is like a tape recorder.
Yeah.
If you bring my wife to sit here, right, she can tell you things that I have said, that I don't know I've said
remember.
from 10 years ago. And I think to myself, what? How do you even keep such things in your mind? But that's how a woman is made.
Yeah.
Yes.
So at times, you have to be mature as a woman and realize that men, they just talk like for talking.
So what can she do in this situation? Does she have to seek counseling?
Yes.
That would help.
Yes,
that would
that
definitely
would
help.
help.
That would
Okay.
definitely help.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I really love your show. I think communication and identification is very important in every relationship. Pastor, please, is the man or the woman ready to identify his or her wrong? If you can identify your wrongdoing, then you are ready to change for good. Secondly, if the two are ready to talk about anything that had gone right or wrong, then you are good to go. This is coming from Mary.
Oh, she's really done well to put that together.
Okay, Nanama, today too, your contact is being asked. Oh, so I don't know what to today too. Good morning, please. What's the best solution for a lady whose husband has slapped her and sacked her out of his house? The husband says, the husband always complains, I want to quit the marriage. This is from Araba, Cape Coast.
Marriage is two people, and you can't force marriage. If the two of you are on a boat, and I always tell people, one is drilling a hole, the boat is going to sink.
Yes.
If someone jumps off the boat and has decided don't want to be on the boat, you can't force it. Marriage is two people agreeing. If the person has said, I don't want to be, and I don't want to be, and I don't want to, and they keep jumping ship, you can't force the marriage.
Yeah.
You can't force someone to be with you.
Okay, good morning, Joy Prime. My name is Rabna from Takwa. What is the faith of the woman whose husband has been refusing to perform his marital rights in bed, sometimes 1 year, sometimes 8 months, etc.? Ooh. Nanama, is it normal?
It's not realistic.
So it means that he
For
might
a
be
woman,
seeing
for a
something.
man, yes. I don't want to say it, but it's not realistic. So I think that they need to talk about it.
Okay,
It's not
all right.
realistic at all.
All right, hi Joy Prime. I love the laugh that you laugh. Okay, I think that will be all for now. We could read more messages, but we can't. So a big thank you. Nana, you want us to read this one?
Yes.
Good morning. I really enjoy the program. Thank you. Please, I'm someone who doesn't enjoy sex. My partner is a husband. My husband is a pastor and cannot cheat. Sometimes the feeling comes for only 5 seconds, and that's all. Please, am I sick? I need help.
No. So she needs to seek counseling.
Okay.
Maybe she had a bad experience with sex
Okay.
before, so that is recorded.
Okay.
And maybe the husband also needs to know how to treat a woman in bed. Sometimes it's just the experience that she has with her husband.
Exactly. All right. So unfortunately, this all time will permit us. Thank you so much for sending in your messages. We are super grateful. A big thank you to Acheampong for always being here, and also to you, Pastor Michael Gabriel McCann. And you've given us a very great show. Thank you so much. Do you have any program coming up?
Any program coming up? We have a program next week, which is a Testimony Sunday.
Okay,
So,
all right,
yeah.
fantastic. So you can visit the church. My name is Rosellyn Felli. Thank you so much for watching the show today. I've been doing it with K to the M to the J. Bye.